Hey guys, welcome back. So let's continue the discussion from where we start. So let's see what asynchronous transfer of data is in the web. So usually, when we make any sort of HTTP request, so the request will be sent, and then the server accepts the request, and it is going to do some sort of processing, and it is going to return you a response. So this is usually how we interact with a server or any API using an API. So there is some sort of a problem with this approach. So the problem is that when a request comes, so and the processing happens at the server side, and a response will be sent back, right? So this is at the server side, but let's see what happens at the client side. So after sending the request, the entire server program has to wait till a response is sent back. So it makes our application a bit slower because an application the a client side program had to wait for some sort of a response from the API, which might take a lot of time due to the server response time. So in such events, is there a way that we can use that we can utilize the intermediate time, and I'll let the client do some other operations. So usually the JavaScript, it is a single threaded application. So it is not actually possible to create multiple threads and let some other thread to do some other operations. So we have a single thread. So we have to utilize this. So we have to utilize this as a single thread and achieve asynchronicity. So let's see what asynchronous operation actually looks like in the computer systems. So in a asynchronous state of transfer, a request will be sent, and then a response will be given, and then another request will be sent, and another response will be given. But if you were to do something in a concurrent way, so we want to make the task as an asynchronous task. So here in this example, we are sending two requests, and we are not waiting for the responses, but we are holding some sort of reference of that response. So when the response was given back, we'll be able to use that as a we have this concept called as uh, callbacks. So using the callbacks, we can uh, a, a sort of do the operations from that sort of from the a step where the response was given back. So this is how they work, and in a asynchronous way. So you have to wait for the response. So all this whatever uh, the utility that was being lost in this phase, it can be used to run the tasks which are asynchronously managed by the code, right? So let's see how a technology called Ajax is going to provide us with some sort of with a scheme which is with which we can achieve this asynchronous nature. So Ajax, it stands for asynchronous JavaScript and XML. But as the name suggests, it was supposed to be used with XML, but nowadays it supports even the JSON as well. So we can call it as Ajax or Ajaj. So anyway, it's just a way, or you can say it's like a style of programming through which we can achieve asynchronous communication between the systems using the JavaScript and some a data transfer mechanism like XML or JSON. So let's see how it works. So there will be a HTTP request. So this is the first request, and the server is going to give you a response. And from that space, Ajax is going to take the control, and it is going to make asynchronous calls. So it is going to manage, what are the requests, and it is going to map the responses. Everything is going to be managed by the Ajax style program. So, but eventually, what this Ajax is, and how are we able to access this Ajax methods or anything. So for Ajax, we have an object called as a XML HTTP response. So it is a browser's API which we can use. So let's see how to write an Ajax code. So this is a very simple Ajax code. So as we discussed, there is something called as a XML HTTP request object. So we are going to create a new instance of it, and we're going to call it as XHR. And now using this, okay, XHR will have something called as a on ready state change. So for this variable, we can assign a callback function which is expected to run after the response was fetched. So here I use something called as a ready state for. So what is a ready state for? Okay, let me draw this. So let's say this is your server and this is your client, and if this is the state, so the ready state will be initially at 1 if it is at the server, and when the request is sent to the client, it will be at the ready state 2, and after the client is ready with the output, it will be of 3, and when the response is received at the sender, the ready state will be given to 4. So when the ready state is 4, we can understand that we have received the response, and we're also checking for the status. So whatever the response we got, it will have a HTTP header. uh, the header will have a lot of information. Along with that, we can see what is the response status. So we have the response codes, right? So for if the response status is 200, it means whatever the operation that we wanted to do, it was a success. It's going to return okay. And if there was an error, it's going to return something from the 400 series. And if there is an internal if any a server program was down, it's going to return the 500 series status. So there are different ways it's going to communicate, and we are checking if it is 200. That means, so we have got the request, and the request was a successful one. So it is going to give me some sort of response. So I'm going to write some sort uh, of code which is going to work on that response, and for some sort of presentation on the GUI. So this is how we write this callback function, and then we are going to use the method called open. This open method, it's going to take 3 parameters. So the first one is HTTP method. So the most used methods are so we usually use the get method or the post method. So there are many other methods like put, patch, delete, so they're rarely used. So using the HTTP method, and we're going to provide the URL. So the URL is nothing but the location of the API, and some other parameters to the API like the IDs and everything, and the async. So async is nothing but the function that is going to execute. So and then we're going to use the send method, and we're going to pass our value, and when we are going to get the response, this entire function will be executed. So this is how Ajax manages internally. Uh, but as of now, it seems to be a lot of work that we have to create an object, and we have to define a callback function, and then we have to open it ourselves. So it seems like a big work, right? So is there any way that we can make it further simplified? So there is another framework of JavaScript which is used to do this. So it is called the jQuery. jQuery framework is used. It's not only used for Ajax. We can use it for the across browser compatibility, and to do some sort of manipulations on the DOM, and also we can use it for Ajax as well. So what the jQuery does? So jQuery is nothing but a special syntax. So we can write it as a so we can write it in a JavaScript file. The way we access the objects is going to be different in the jQuery. So this is the basic syntax of how a jQuery looks like. So we're going to use this a special symbol, and we're going to use a selector. So this a selector is going to find the HTML element on which we are trying to manipulate something, and then the action. So in the action, we can suppose the action. So this is going to simulate what we have. What is achieved here. So it will be able to simulate the asynchronous the asynchronous frameworks are going to give. So this is all about the web programming. So we'll see another video.